Good morning, all. Welcome to the session of distributed systems. Previously, we have discussed so many topics in the distributed system in this particular web series, right? So, in this session, we are going to see about an interesting topic called as LDAP. Okay, so myself or Narendran working as assistant professor in Erode Sengundar Engineering College in the Department of Information Technology. Now I am going to present what is LDAP, what are all the main aspects of LDAP. Okay, with no further delay, we shall move on to the topic. Okay, so LDAP. So what is LDAP? LDAP is nothing but lightweight directory access protocol. Okay, so LDAP is a lightweight directory access protocol. So it's an application protocol. It is used for modifying the directory services and also for querying the directory services. The directory services can be of anything. We have to add, remove, or modify or update some kind of directory services by means of LDAP. So LDAP runs on a TCP/IP layer only, protocol only. So TCP is a transmission control protocol, internet protocol. So through which the LDAP is going to run. Okay. So the LDAP directory, we have seen about LDAP directory. So what is LDAP directory? So LDAP directory is a set of objects with similar attributes. So that is organized in logical or hierarchical manner. For example, we may know about telephone directory. So it will be having the names of a particular telephone number person followed by their address and phone number. So a telephone directory is a series is containing a series of names. It can be a person or it can be any organization. So it is arranged in an alphabetical order hierarchy. So and each name is having the key values of address and phone numbers. So LDAP is often used with other services or by other services for the purpose of authentication also. Okay, so LDAP is having the directory tree structure. So the structure like DNS is having, that is a domain namespace is having a tree structure, right? So likewise, LDAP is having a directory structure tree. So which may have political, graphical, geographical, and organizational boundaries. That depends on the model we are choosing. Okay, so LDAP development is a trendy development which is undergoing in domain namespace. So, starting from the root to the leaf node, the LDAP forms a hierarchy so that we can able to correlate with the distributed system. So, what is there inside the entries of LDAP? We can see people, we can see organizational units, printers or peripheral devices or documents, a group of peoples. Likewise, it will be going through multiple entries. Okay, a structure will be like a hierarchical or flat structure. So the first one is the domain component oriented. The second one is the organizational oriented. So we will go by these structures. So the version of LDAP now used is LDAP version 3. So it's having the resemblance of RFC 4510. So protocol. So client starts an LDAP session by connecting through LDAP server. The default server of TCP port, that is the default TCP port for LDAP is port number 389. So the client sends some of the operations as the request to be processed in the server. The server will respond in turn. Okay, it will respond to the requests that are given to the servers. Okay, so the overall process or operation in the LDAP is bulleted here. So first one is it starts the TLS, that is a transport layer security. It will be initiated. So initially it was a what you say optional, but it is essentially needed for initiating the operation. Next one is we have to bind and authenticate the specific LDAP protocol version. It may be one, V1, V2, V3, something else. So next we want to search for a particular directory entry. So whenever we search for an entry, it will test and compare the particular entry with the given attribute values. So likewise, after comparison, it will add a particular entry when it is for new updation, or it will delete or truncate an entry. It can able to modify an entry, okay, and it can able to modify distinguished names also. That is, it can move or rename an entry, already existing entry, okay, or it can abandon a particular request. Uh, Next one is it can extend the operation to a generic mode. So it can correlate with some other updation operation also. So and finally it will unbind. That is the close of the connection. So initially by starting TLS, the connection is established. And finally unbind or close operation is done, which terminates the connectivity. So these are all the main protocol operations that are handled in the LDAP. Okay, there are some alternatives to LDAP also. So that we will see in the next session if time permits. So directory structure of an LDAP. The protocol accesses LDAP directories. Um, it follows the 1993 edition of a X500 model. So a direct LDAP is a directory structure which is having a tree-like structure. Each consists of the following attributes. For example, it contains the name, it contains the attribute type and attribute description, and it may also have one or more values also. So it may contain schema. So and this particular part distinguished name, suppose it is having the name resolution constraints. So two or more names are like same resemblance, so they can, then we can go for distinguished names. It can able to update the name into another name, for example renaming. Okay, so it may be the replicas, but it will rename it with some other name. So in order to overcome the name conflicts, okay. So the domain name may change over the lifetime of an entry. For example, if entries move within a particular tree, we can able to rename it with some other name also. Okay, so it also has an ID called as UID for a better operational attribute performance. So you can see the sample structure of a directory structure. So starting from name CN, DN, so domain name. So starting from that, so many different constraints and different types of tree structures are mentioned here. So the basic applications where we are going to use this LDAP and why we are using this LDAP, what is the usage behind this? So it is widely supported. Okay, LDAP is very general and is used for security purpose also. Protocols like LDAP and HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, are having various different services in the web services. Um, Two main applications of LDAP are computer or grouping our data. Computer user oriented grouping of data. So and address book information for describing the person with departments or something else like unique IDs. Many email clients support LDAP lookups for finding the table-oriented structure to easily identify the um, different types of unique entries. Okay, so some tasks LDAP does not handle well is relational database. Okay, and data whose ordering must be preserved. Okay, in such cases, the LDAP performance will be quite low. So to overcome this, some other protocol structure has been framed for efficient sharing of resources and protocol binding. Okay, so in this session we have discussed the topics regarding LDAP, which is very essential in providing services to the domain namespace oriented web services, and it forms part of the distributed system. Okay, so thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will see in the next session. Thank you.